What's going on, people? You know, it's funny you can do a live Twitter from a, I mean, yeah, from a desktop. But you can't do, maybe because TikTok is not considered old.
Hello,
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Right?
What's
Just
your name?
chilling. Huh?
What's your name? Clarence?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
you from, Clarence?
Yeah. I guess I have stuff I can uh talk on. I'd be like talking about how, like, what do you think about how people move into the modern day shift versus, like, it's like blacks, Hispanics, Native American, our people, then it's like we adopted a new culture, a way of living and thinking and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Damn, she must have jumped off. So I don't know if it was an accident. Maybe. Mm, but you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I guess as soon as you see when you, it's just go to show you it that more that it is true. You see what I'm saying? Because you really realize that the enemy will fight the truth no matter what. So that right there within itself is an example that it is true. You see what I'm saying? So when you try to want to talk about it, and I think that's one of the main reasons why our community is in a downfall and falling backwards. And these are some, and then this is also biblical as well too. I'm gonna show you the example of. Now, I'm not judging the individual person or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. I guess people are trying to. They feel like they're gonna lose their money or whatever that they getting, but I feel like it's in our community is more important. Me to see a peaceful community and us celebrating our own culture rather than celebrating and adapting to other people. Let's go to Isaiah 30, and I'm gonna because these are part of the curses that the Most High put on Israel, our people, because we didn't listen to His commandments and things of that nature. So I want to give you an example of what just happened. You know, I'm not judging the person too fast, but maybe it's probably not meant for. Sometimes it just don't be meant. Well, when you tell the truth, you lose a lot of friends and things of that nature. So let's look at Isaiah 30 verses 9 and 10. Let's start at verse 9. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speaking unto us speaking unto us smooth things. Excuse me, speaking unto us smooth things, prophesying deceit. Most people want to hear, they would rather hear a lie. They would rather hear you lie to them than to hear the truth. People say the truth hurts. I used to say it too. No, I would say that it would hurt them when it hurts when what makes it hurt is when you want to continue to wallow and do what you want to do. You see what I'm saying? And that's one of the ways how we end up in the condition that we are. Because we didn't want to. That's a perfect example because that's an example that we don't want to keep the commandments. So he said, because we don't want to keep the commandments, then we will have to go into slavery and serve our enemies. So let's go to Isaiah 30 verses 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? So rebellious means hard-headed. They don't want to listen. So that's an example. I'm not trying to throw shade at the sister. Now, I could have it wrong. I don't know. Maybe the thing she could have accidentally hit something and it could have just came out. So let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. The Bible said, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. It says, if we don't listen. So the more we don't listen, we go into slavery. That's what causes it.
What you up to, Clarence Ray?
Say it again.
I said, what are you up to?
I was just sitting up here just talking about the culture of our people, Black Hispanics, how we ended up in the condition that we're in. Like, we live in a time and day and age where we is so far away from, we adopt other people's cultures and things. Mm-hmm. If you look around, look at the examples, you can see that, we're just divided in so many different ways, and we adopt other people's ideologies and cultures, such as, I'll give you an example, Thanksgiving, but I like to call it ThanksKilling. ThanksKilling, where the time where they colonized the planet and they took our culture, right, and gave us a language, false language, and everything. So we don't know who we are as a people. And that's why we adopt to things like six figure. We say it's just like we're just so far from the original. Oops, that's another one. See, that's a perfect example. When they see what you're talking about, they don't have nothing to do with it. But hey, it's basically we have done that though. We have done that. We it's like people, man, and it's confirming more that it's true. I mean, why deny it? I mean, it's right there. You can look it up. It's history. It's right there in your face. You've got Google. I'm not saying nothing wrong. Yeah, I'm not saying nothing wrong. I'm not gonna look. Let me tell you something, man. I'm not gonna come up in here and sugarcoat nothing. Like, oh, she's a pretty girl, so I'm gonna walk. No, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna tell the truth for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It just goes to show you how Esau have our people conditioned. Our people is under what is called Stockholm syndrome. You know, I'm gonna talk more about this on YouTube. Yeah, I'm gonna talk more about it on YouTube. I mean, I love the truth, and I'm not gonna disrespect the truth. You know, I'm not gonna disrespect none of that. You know, I'm just gonna tell the truth, what it is. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as people putting their people in a nursing home. You know, I don't believe in doing that. I just don't. That's not. I don't subscribe to that at all. I don't subscribe to our people doing that. You know, we say, oh, person not able to do it. No, God ain't gonna never put you in a situation to where you're gonna have to compromise. And it's. I did a video about this the other day. Putting your people in the nursing home is like, it's no different from repeating the patterns of handing your Lord and Savior over to be crucified in the hands of another nation. When you do that this day, in this modern day, it's just like, it's no different from, really no different from repeating the patterns of the biblical point, when they said Barabbas, who would you release unto them to be crucified? They said, we will release Barabbas to the Greeks or the Romans or whatever to be crucified. So when you put your people, have a spirit of putting your people in a nursing home, that's a form of that. That's similar. That's the same spirit, of doing that. You're handing you're pushing your people into the hands of another nation and trying to get them to rely upon another nation for whatever it is that you need. Think about if you got old, I got old. Well, I want somebody to do me like that. You have to think, don't we always say, treat people the way you want to be treated? I hear this all the time. Even my family always told me that. My mother always told me that, and I'm grateful to have my mother to be still in my life. You know what I'm saying? And everything, because that person is the one that ride and died for me, and went over head over heels and did whatever, did everything. You know what I'm saying? This, and even our fathers, they do the best that they can. You know what I'm saying? So we just have to, like, I'm gonna speak more on it on YouTube when I go to YouTube. But that was, again, a perfect example. Man, look, man, I love the truth more than anything. There's nothing on this planet that will take the place of the truth. Not even a woman. The truth is more delicious than that. If that person or that man or that woman don't accept you for the truth, that means it's not really for you. You see what I'm saying? It's not really for you, So I'm gonna speak more of this on YouTube. That's what I'm gonna do. So at the same time, I'm praying. I'm praying for those sisters. I'm praying for them. It takes time for people to come around, and you know what I'm saying. I do know that the Most High, He's able. I believe. I rely totally upon Him, bro. You got to, and I'm still learning. So I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I'm gonna see y'all later. We're gonna talk some more about this a little.